Good morning, everybody. Hey, thanks so much for being here. Hope you had a really nice weekend. We were out at the ball fields yesterday. It was just so nice and comfortable out there. It was a little warm, the sun, baking on us, and my son hit his first out of the park home run.
That makes all the difference, right?
Way to go, Kaden. We're all proud of you.
Park. That's so huge.
Yeah.
I mean, that's a far way to go.
We saw that ball go, 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 and you should have seen it. I was so excited. Yeah.
Was he so happy?
He was really, really pumped up.
Oh, good stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's the kind of week, though, that's going to be so hot. Jenny was talking about a beach day.
Yes.
That might be
That's
everyone's
right.
plan.
Geez, congrats, Kaden. Someone call Fernando Tatis Jr., right?
Yeah, future
That's next.
Tatis.
6:01 on our Monday. Happy Monday to you. Yeah, like you guys talked about, the heat really come into play today, tomorrow, and Wednesday. Tuesday, Wednesday, peak temperatures. That's when we really hit our peak with the heat advisory and excessive heat watch. The view outside right now shows a few of those clouds, but as the sun starts to come up, those are going to dissipate very, very fast. The marine layer will be something to mention for about Thursday and Friday. That's also when we start to see temperatures cool down just a bit. But take a look at today. Heat advisory starts at 10 a.m. Excessive heat watch at 10 a.m. tomorrow, all the way through Wednesday across your mountains and deserts. Forecast highs along the coast are going to be in the 80s, 90s for your inland valleys and your mountains, 113 across the deserts. More talk about the heat that will come into play and that ridge of high pressure coming up. But I'm also taking a look at what's going on the roads. Now, we started off pretty mellow out there. You see a lot of green on the screen, so smooth sailing to start off the day. Just one pretty decent thing to mention here. This is getting onto the Coronado Bridge. This is a spot where there already is a lot of volume, and now an accident on the entry ramp to the 5 northbound from the Coronado Bridge. So keep in mind there is going to be a stalled vehicle over on the side. They're trying to get that cleared relatively quickly, but you can already see that getting onto the bridge and already going north on the 5 is where you're going to run into some trouble as you start off your Monday morning commute. I'll send things back to you.
Wow, did you see that burst right there? New this morning, an investigation underway into this, a fire involving a Tesla. This in North Park. It started just before 1:30 this morning, right on Utah Street and Caps. That's near a mini mart and a jewelry store, but imagine hearing that and seeing those flames. Firefighters got to the flames. They got the flames out, rather, in about 30 minutes. Look at all the smoke, too. Nobody was inside the Tesla. This is not the first time, though. To put this into context, a Tesla has caught fire, but it is rare, according to the company. From 2012 to 2020, there was one fire for every 205 million miles traveled. That's 10 times less frequent than the average car.
Quite the scuffle here this morning. A burglary suspect now in custody after officers took him down in City Heights. Happened around 1:30 this morning on 42nd Street and University Avenue. Officers say when they arrived, they saw a man pop out of a roof hatch, and he was running across a number of store rooftops. Police eventually caught up with him and arrested him.
Well, today marks the start of a new requirement in the fight against COVID-19. Starting now, all state employees must show proof of vaccination or they have to go through weekly testing.
News 8's Chris Groh live with what we need to know here this morning, including when healthcare employees will soon follow. Chris?
Good morning, Eric and Netta. Yes, healthcare employees going to have a little bit of a later start on this vaccine verification system, but Governor Gavin Newsom expressing concern here with this new verification system, essentially in large part due to the rising number of cases, specifically a vast majority of them amongst the unvaccinated.
California is committed to vaccination, verification, and or testing on a weekly basis.
And so for nearly 250,000 state employees, this verification system starts today. As we pointed out, it's pretty simple. Get vaccinated or you're subjected to weekly testing. Those who remain unvaccinated, again, they're going to have that weekly testing, but also going to still be required to wear face coverings and other appropriate PPE that we may have seen in the early stages of the pandemic. Now, it's going to be the same for those healthcare workers, about 2 million of them across the state. That's the estimate, but that'll be starting next week. That will mostly impact those at healthcare facilities, hospitals, senior centers, essentially at places where people are going to be closely congregating. So essentially a lot of those healthcare fields. Now, the big thing here, though, is that they are going to have some time to put this into place. It won't be finalized or isn't expected to be kind of checked on by the state until August 23rd. But again, a vast majority of the cases that we're seeing right now of the Delta variant, more than 80% of them amongst the unvaccinated. 71% of Californians are vaccinated with at least one shot, but that number has slowed down. So again, that's why we're seeing this sort of urgency here from the state government. But again, key dates to point out. Today, state employees, that vaccine verification system starts August 9th, next week for healthcare workers, but they're going to have until August 23rd to really get that fully into place. Eric and Netta.
Chris Groh reporting live. Thanks, Chris. This morning, the San Diego City Council will get its first look at a new ordinance targeting so-called ghost guns. The ordinance would ban the possession, purchase, sale, receipt, and transportation of the frames and unfinished receivers. Ghost guns are a growing problem right now. Law enforcement cannot track those weapons. An off-duty San Diego police officer is arrested, accused of using a gun to threaten someone outside of a bar. Happened Saturday night in Pacific Beach while Trevor Sterling was off-duty. According to the department, Sterling created a disturbance outside of a bar where he threatened someone with a personal gun. He was arrested for assault with a deadly weapon and has been suspended without pay. The department is investigating, and the district attorney's office will also be looking at the incident.
Starting today, San Diego will begin compliance visits for restaurants and businesses that have those outdoor operations. And their goal will be to make sure those structures that you've seen pop up along our streets and in parking lots meet building code and safety requirements. Businesses that have any violations will have until Monday, September 6th to fix their problems, or they could face a fine.
Padres fans will have to wait a little longer to see what the health is of superstar Fernando Tatis Jr. He's been on the 10-day injured list since Saturday after partially dislocating his shoulder. You can see him right here after that collision slide at third. This injury happened during Friday night's game. So this is the third time that he's hurt his shoulder this season. And the manager, Jay Stingler, saying season-ending surgery would be on the table if he does not show improvement with his shoulder. Tatis intends to return to action, though, this year.
Oh, you can see him grab the shoulder right there. Oh, that's painful to see.
He comes down on that really hard right there.
Now, new this morning from Tokyo, gymnast Simone Biles will take to the competition again at the Olympics. She'll compete on the balance beam now during the individual event finals. This comes after she pulled out of the other events to protect her mental health. The beam is her last chance to compete in these games. Biles took home bronze in this event 5 years ago in Rio. And this is a huge, huge win. Scripps Ranch High grad and former Aztec Xander Schauffele coming back home with a gold medal in golf.
Yeah, he's just the fourth men's golfer to capture a gold medal in Olympic history and just the second American to do it. Golf was out of the Olympics for 112 years before it returned to the games. Phil Mickelson even joking on Twitter that he expects Xander to use that gold medal as a ball marker moving forward on the tour.
What you explained, ball markers usually would be like a penny.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's like a little clip.
Okay.
It's usually smaller than the ball.
Right.
But in this case, when you have an Olympic gold medal, why not use it as a marker?
Do whatever you want. Take
Rub
a
it
bite
in.
out of it. Whatever makes you happy.
I didn't even know they took golf out of the Olympics.
Yeah.
112 years.
Wow.
Yeah. The first one was in 1900 and the second one was 1904, and then they just
Then
stopped
they were
doing
like,
it for a while.
Let's put that one on pause. And then
Yeah.
they were like, by the time we bring skateboarding into the games, we got to bring golf.
I think so.
Yeah.
Let's take a look outside. A happy Monday morning to you. Here's the view. You see those clouds off along the coastline, but for the most part, they are out along the ocean as opposed to overlooking the actual coast itself. So if you're waking up this morning to complete sunshine, don't be too surprised. That ridge of high pressure is responsible for that. Temperatures are very nice right now as we start off the morning, mainly in the 60s out there. 60 for Oceanside, 65 in downtown San Diego. It's 56 degrees right now in Poway and in Ramona, and 66 in Alpine. Now, when we see these temperatures warm up, you can actually watch how that happens into your Tuesday and Wednesday. Those darker red tones come into play, and then we start to see this ridge of high pressure bring more heat off to the east of us as opposed to where we are, but we're still going to remain above average. So this entire week, temperatures are above average, but the heat is peaking Tuesday and Wednesday. That's when we have a heat advisory in effect and an excessive heat watch that we will both be keeping an eye on. Coastline is going to be a little bit cooler, but inland is where we see Tuesday and Wednesday as those 2 days. Even along the coast, though, 80 degrees for today and tomorrow, cooling down just a bit by Wednesday. Inland, we always see that lag lag in temperatures, and that's where those temperatures heat up much more dramatically. So that's why Tuesday and Wednesday, they'll lag behind a bit, enjoy the warmth, and then start to cool down from Thursday and beyond. That marine layer also will come back into play after your Wednesday. Let's switch gears, talk about traffic out there. As I mentioned, to kick off your Monday morning, things have been relatively mellow on the roads out there. Volume has been light, but I do want to take you down to the Coronado Bridge. This is really the only major incident that we're tracking this morning. And that's because of the delays that it's already causing for many of the people trying to get off toward the North Island. So stalled vehicle on the 5 northbound. That's at the 75 on-ramp, the bridge to Coronado. So keep in mind, there is a stalled vehicle there. Right now, they're trying to get that moved onto the shoulder and to get a tow truck on the scene. However, it is causing some pretty strong congestion, as you can see the red and orange on your screen as we start off your Monday morning. You do want to plan for extra time if you're headed over toward the Coronado Bridge this morning.